to all members of the county and then have them pay back into it. I mean, I don't know. I guess that would take some consideration on your part and my part. Is that something else, another service that we want to provide, but it should be funded somehow by the individual requesting the grant. But then if they're coming to request a grant, it's generally a nonprofit, so they don't have a lot of money. So it kind of goes both ways. I'm involved with the Tax Appeal Board, which I am not, the county is not paid, I shouldn't say I'm not paid, which is under the umbrella of my job position, County Tax Appeal Board. So anytime someone has some questions on their taxes, or if they want to appeal the amount of taxes they're being taxed, we have to go through that process. That's generally a 3-day project. Also under community development, they're not paying the county to go through this process. I've been assisting the Board of Health in trying to get our arms around this grant and this project and this direction we want to move. Also the Local Advisory Council on Mental Health collaborative project. BLM, I've been really involved with the BLM Resource Advisory Council, in that we meet quarterly, and so that I think is a really good outreach. That's something that I do under my umbrella of community development. It's not paid for by BLM, but I think it's super important to have those connections with other agencies. The Joint Land Use Study, I've spoke at length with you about that. That's a collaborative effort between Lewis and Clark County, Broadwater County, and the Department of Defense. Pretty hefty project that we're working on. Really community development, it's so hard to, I guess, on the spot think of everything that it does, and I know when I leave here I'm going to say, oh, I should have said that. But there's so many things that I think the community can use this department for, not just me as a person, because I could be replaced. But to have that person to come to and ask a question, say, hey, I'm not sure how to proceed with this, or I'm looking at transferring land here, or I want to close a road. I don't know where to go. I don't know how to start that process. And that's my job. Rural improvement districts, those happen a lot. Also not paid for by the individual directly to the county. It's paid in taxes for that function, but I help them getting together that RID so they can work together. Homeowners associations, I frequently become involved in covenants, land disputes, as long as it's not a legal issue and I have to send them all the way upstairs. So really just, I think, being available to the community for questions. If there's something that they're just not sure how to proceed. I get a lot of questions from folks at church, at the Mint, hey, I don't know about this. Can you help me with this? Absolutely, I can tell you where to go and what to do. Let's set up a time, let's meet. So I think it's just a matter of being super involved in the community and making yourself available to the community. And, if you don't know the answer, it's always okay to say no or find them out the answer. So that was pretty vague, and I'm sorry. But I don't really have it's not a hard and fast, I do this one thing every day. My days are always different. My days are always, it's a guess on what I'm going to have to answer for folks, commission, employees, members of the public. Which goes back to, I really love working here, and I love that we get the awesome benefits that we get. That was not at all what I was saying. I just, I would never want to leave here. I would never want to go to Bozeman or Helena, because it's, I like the people here. I like the work here.
Okay. Nothing else with Nicole? Any other questions?
Thank you.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome. Yeah, thank you. Is the partners meeting still on at 1? I have a couple of
One,
questions
yeah.
of those folks. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, yeah, you bet. Thanks. Is this the one you just gave me, the Fireboard one? Laura? I'll just read it off. Commissioner, seeing how the number of candidates is equal to the number of positions to be elected, we ask that John Rouser and Dale Millen be elected by acclamation in accordance with MCA 113-1304. Tom Schindel, Chairman.
That was postponed from last week. I will move that we appoint by acclamation John Rouser and Dale Doan to the Rural Fire District Trustee Board.
I will second.
Moving second. Appoint Dale Doan and John Rouser, I forget which one's that. Moving second, all in favor? Aye. Motion carried. For MDT action, I think what it is we wanna keep getting their information from them on these different projects. From DEQ, I guess it's one paragraph, so I'll have to read on April 14, 2017, the Department of Environmental Control, published MRI notice 17-390 pertaining to public hearing on proposed amendments of the above reference rule. This is some changing of the administrative rules. This is just the report on the well there at the Siler. It's absent for problem for
And for the record, that's a water test sample that came back clear for the silos. It's for the minutes.
Verizon, commissioners, $96, I think, or something like that.
If we go to, who was those people over there, Black,
Blackfoot?
do they take over this Verizon deal then?
No, this
They
is
just take-
wireless.
They just take our landlines,
Mhm.
okay.
And just not the analogs. So we couldn't do much of the sheriff's department, 911.
Oh, yeah,
Those-
because they can't, because they just got a new contract with somebody else, or,
That and it just can't provide the service.
oh, okay.
We've gotta have something that doesn't go down.
They never
Yes.
go down but 5 hours a year, that's what they said.
Yes.
Montana Historical Society. What's the Stone Hills Prehistoric District? Anybody know? You ever hear of that, Ann? It's southwest of Townsend. Will be considered by the state historical. Preservation Review Board for nomination to the National Register of Historical Places.
Is that Stamp Mill? There's a Stamp Mill. I'm wondering if that's what they're talking about. Johnson Stamp Mill.
I don't know.
Hmm.
It's gonna take place in Sacagawea, I think.
So where's that at?
I don't know exactly where it's at. I know that the Historical Society here in Broadwater County and our Community Development Coordinator have been out working on that. It's a old stamp mill from, from 100+ years ago, and they want it added to the Historical Registry to
Oh.
protect it.
Hmm.
It's,
Stone Hill Springs Prehistoric District.
and maybe
Where
it's
that's over at
different.
Copper City?
They did have a dinosaur dig here in the county. Maybe that's related to it.
That could be.
Prehistoric brings that to mind.
I don't think there's anything left of Copper City.
Copper
Yeah, I
City is
know.
not southwest of Townsend.
Might be a
It'd be
question for
s-
Nicole.
It'd be south, but only west any though. Unless that's somewhere's over in Keating, Ohio, some of those mines, or, I don't know. It's a good thing, preserve it, those are things that are gone when they're gone. Okay, just a few minutes after 12, a recess
I
till.
have a couple of things before we recess. The health department needs access to an IAP site. Are you guys good with that?
Yes.
All right, an email was sent. The other thing is we are, Jessica, possibly going to get the land transfer this week. Virgil Binkley with the trust board was in to see us this past week and asked us to get the subleases updated. There's 3 of them. There's 3 commissioners. I got the Baldy golf course just by happenstance from Mia. There's also the softball fields and there's the Rod and Gun Club. I would like for each of us to update one of those subleases, send them to Corey, and then have them ready to go when we get an affirmative answer from the National Park Service. Is that good with you guys?
Yeah, and we can just copy that sublease we had with the city, right?
Copy it, yes, but we need to change it because it's not gonna say the city of Townsend
It'll
anymore, it's
say-
gonna say Broadwater County.
And it also leaves off BOR and the rest of them.
Correct, that
Right.
needs to be updated. Some of the language regarding reporting to BOR needs to be taken off because they'll
Okay.
report to us and we'll report to BOR. And then also the insurance, and that's specifically what Virgil talked about with us is, right now, each entity is getting their own insurance, as you well know. It will be less expensive for them to buy into the county insurance.
Okay.
And as they are now county, it will be our responsibility to insure those. So I think our new contracts need to have language that they will pay the difference.
Okay.
In the county increase, again, they'll be saving money. So it's a benefit to everybody all the way around. Those are the major things that need to be addressed. And then what I found with the golf course is the contract says that everything, if they cancel the contract or we cancel the contract, they get to keep everything. Well, no, that's not how it would work. They can keep their golf clubs and everything that's stationary, but trees, the golf course itself, you can't pull that stuff up and take it. So we have to have a clause that says.
They can remove the building, but they can't remove permanent natural improvements.
I would say they can't remove permanent improvements. So some of them will have buildings on there, fences, porta potties or bathroom facilities like you have at the softball field. Those things would stay with the property because it's a community property, not a softball field property.
Didn't the old deal with the BOR say that you could remove those facilities?
I think we need to address that because I think that would not be serving our citizens.
You had an option. So, but Does the county still have to contact BOR when we do, because you said you had to have contact with with the county versus the BOR.
right?
So why does the county have to report to the BOR?
It's part of our contract. We're gonna have to submit an annual, report of how the properties were used. That'll go to BOR, which will send it to the National Park Service, I believe.
Now, that's just part of the transfer.
It
They
is,
have
it's a
no
requirement they
jurisdiction,
have.
but we still have to document what we're doing.
Well, they have jurisdiction legally because we are saying, we want you to give us this property so we can continue to use it for recreation. BOR and the National Park Service are saying, yes, we have a policy where we can give you this property as long as you use it for recreation.
Okay.
So we need to report that we are indeed using the property for
Oh,
recreation.
okay, okay.
If we put a dance hall, on the property, I guess that's recreation too. A shoe factory, we're putting a shoe factory on, the golf course in the middle of it. Now we're out of our
You're,
agreement.
okay.
That's what it's all about, they just need to monitor that we're doing
Okay.
what we say we're gonna do.
Okay.
If we wanna do the shoe factory, we have to then go to the National Park Service and say, we want to buy the property from you at a fair market
Okay.
value, not accept it as a gift. So, those are the only issues, I think.
Okay.
They're all, I think, very easy to deal with, but I don't think it should fall on just one of us, I think the three of us should share the load equally.
Okay.
That's all I have. Franklin, you're
I'll take
good
the
with
Rock Kennel
this?
Club there too.
Okay.
Virgil Weekly. Okay, I guess we're in recess until 1 o'clock.